Velshi rule, Republicans in Congress are spearheading tax plans that overwhelmingly benefit businesses and America's wealthy. Meanwhile, an estimated 35% of earners at the bottom of the income ladder would see no benefit from the proposed tax cuts.
Are you listening? But tax reform alone, even if it were to target low-income Americans with real financial benefits, would do almost nothing to narrow the widening income gap in this country. For example, one of the most beneficial tax credits lower-income people get is the Earned Income Tax Credit. But you ready for this? 1 out of every 5 Americans who qualify for it don't even know how to claim it. I want to bring in our next guest. I'm excited. John Hope Bryant. He sees this foremost as a fundamental problem of financial literacy. John heads up Operation Hope, a nonprofit organization with an ambitious goal to raise a community's average credit score as a whole and improve its chances at raising its standard of living. John, welcome.
My honor to be here.
First,
by the way, you've never seen a riot in a 700 credit score community in America's history of any race.
It's true.
It's never happened.
All right, well, tell us, this tax plan, what do you think of it? Because the GOP, they like to say it is for the middle class.
No, I mean, it's for somebody. It's not for the middle class. It's literally a structure that supports passive owners of assets and equities and who have resources. It's nothing bad. It's just say what it is.
So that's the point. And the passive owners of assets, again, nothing bad with that either. But we do have a mantra that says, hey, we're supposed to be supporting work. We're supposed to be encouraging work.
Well, beyond that, we're rearranging the deck chairs in the Titanic. I mean, the ship is sinking. We're picking drapes. We have got to focus on folks who drive the economy.
Right.
70% of the economy is consumer spending. That's the average Joe and Mary. And this bill doesn't do it with all due respect. They're punishing you if you have a student loan. They're punishing you if you have a mortgage.
Right.
They're punishing you if you have a disaster. They're punishing you if you have a medical disaster in your life. These are things that affect average people who are living from paycheck to paycheck, who are driving the economy.
Right.
If you want to have a jobs-driven tax plan, then signal that by giving incentives for internships to corporations. I'll give you a great tax benefit. I'll give you a tax deduction.
Bring some interns in.
Bring some internships at scale. Bring me apprenticeships at scale. I'll give you a massive tax benefit for that. If you want to say this ties to worker income, this is not a socialist comment, but I'm just playing. Fine. Then tie it to raises in income. I'll give you a tax deduction.
Right.
A tax.
If I know it's getting passed on.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not proposing that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
If that's the logic, then walk it through. Don't tell me it's pinky dust and it'll happen sometime, because as we're seeing, the wealth is increasing and middle class are taking it in the shorts.
Then walk us through the real financial hurdles blocking, whether it's inner city or rural America. What's hurting America the most? Where are they blocked?
It's blocked with the invisible class who are just not visible to the economy because they never got the memo on money. I wrote a book on this called The Memo. It's what you don't know that you don't know that's killing you, but you think you know. 44% of all African Americans in this country have a credit score below 620.
Right.
Just stop there.
Which means you're not going to get the
small
best
business loan.
You're not going to get the best rates on loans. You're going to be paying premiums.
You're not going to get a small business loan.
You're locked out.
You're locked out of the capital markets. Andrew Young said to live in a system of free enterprise and not to understand the rules of free enterprise must be the definition of slavery.
So who's that on when people don't understand?
These are our policymakers who, with all due respect, don't understand capitalism and free enterprise themselves. We don't understand that wealth comes from poor people. Hello. Goldman Sachs was a guy named Goldman and a guy named Sachs with a briefcase walking door to door 100 years ago selling stuff when they were a small business. Walmart was Sam Walton with a pickup truck, a storefront, and a high school education. So all of our big businesses were once small ones. We need to reward small business owners. I'll give you a tax decrease if you have a fund that funds small businesses and startups in emerging markets. But if you have half of Black America, I don't care how brilliant they are, how smart they are, how clean they keep their nose, who have a credit score below 620 by no fault of their own, they just never got the memo on money, you cannot get a home loan. You cannot get a small business loan.
And financial literacy, that can crack this?
This is the civil rights issue of our generation.
Martin Luther
It's not
King
in the streets. It's
used
in the
to talk
streets.
about this. Martin Luther King, toward his death, was talking about economic empowerment and financial literacy. This has been a problem for a long time.
He was doing more than talking about it. He pivoted toward it. It was called the Poor People's Campaign. But so that people don't think this is a black issue, Abraham Lincoln created a bank called the Freedmen's Bank in 1865, March 3rd, after the Civil War, to, quote, teach free slaves about money, because he knew that you had to bring everybody into the free enterprise system. He was killed the next month. So it's not that we got the memo and screwed it up. We never got the memo. And I'm talking about my 15% of white America who have a credit score below 620 in rural white America. Those are my brothers and sisters who are struggling because the Industrial Revolution, you guys know this, walked away from them 60 years ago. They're frustrated, upset, depressed, and they're voting their fear.
Guess what, America? It's time to get the memo, and look who's delivering it. John Hope Bryant.
The
John,
new
thank
color
you
is
so
green.
much.
That's it.
There you go. The new color
That's all our
is
color. John.